Hi guys, 2019 is the 60th anniversary of Honda Racing, because Honda Racing started racing in 1959 when I was just a little kid. So a bit of history here. This is the first Honda RC 142 that raced in the Isle of Man. This is Honda's first challenge in the entry in the Isle of Man TT race 1959. And Honda started by racing bikes. So you can see 1959, everything was done by hand. Even the fuel tank looks like it was made by hand. Yeah, somebody beat up that aluminum to make that fuel tank, and that's the base frame of the motorbike. Very simple in those days, but this bike was fast, so Honda proved that it could do it. Look at the fairings. This is like a one-off production. Yeah, it's an aluminum fairing, and you can see the hammer marks where it was all beaten to get into that shape. Lovely piece of work, lovely piece of art. Then in 1965, Honda came. Okay, the first win for Honda was, you can see up there, 1965 first win, Veni Vidi Vici. That means I came, I saw, and I conquered. This is the first Honda race car. This is Formula One in those days. You can see the frame, it was all aluminum. Yeah, you can see again, this car was also built by hand. The panels are handmade and hand riveted. Okay, of course the engineering is in the engine and the gearbox and all that. And look at the suspension, it's reversed. So you see a very simple, this is a double wishbone arrangement. A shock absorber for Formula One cars are inside the body. Yeah, and so you see the Japanese flag there. This car number 11, that was in 1965. And of course at the same time Honda also went on to bikes, and this is the 1985 double win for the 250cc class and 500cc class riders title. And the name here, good old Freddie Spencer, our, basically I would say he's the most famous motorbike racer of all time. Yeah, Freddie Spencer, very well known. And then in 1988, this is the invincible Formula One car by Honda in the Marlboro team. Yeah, they took a convincing 15 wins in 16 races, and that's my famous driver. The driver is Ayrton Senna. Yeah, unfortunately he passed away, but he will always be remembered as possibly the greatest driver of all time. That's Ayrton Senna. I remember my daughter cried when she heard the news. Yeah. And then this is the 206, and this is also MotoGP riders title by Nick Hayden. I think that's him. And this is the bike. Now looking from the first bike until now, you see the big differences. This is, mind you, this is 206. Yeah, 13 years ago they had carbon ceramic brakes for the front. My gosh, those are carbon brakes. I never looked at the bike close enough before, and this is the first time. Okay, so you see that's Repsol, and you can see heavy use of aluminum on the frame. So the frame is still hand built, but I think parts of it are cast, and it really looks very professional. So a big difference from the 1959 motorbike. Yeah, and then this is the Honda's third win as a constructor in 2006. This is the Honda team, I think it's It's a British team, British American Tobacco or something like that. Not very sure, but this looks like the Lucky Strike colors, right? Yep. Okay. So they didn't allow cigarette advertising, and that uh, put an end to all cigarette advertising. But you look at the car, yeah, it's actually pretty big and long. Now these cars weigh maybe about under 700 kilograms, yeah, 600 plus, and you can see there's heavy use of carbon fiber. These parts are all made of carbon fiber. They're very lightweight, but very strong, and the wings are starting to grow on the cars as aerodynamics play a bigger and bigger part. Even these wings and even the bottom wings make a lot of difference to the car aerodynamics. See how those little wings work, yeah? Even this little lip on that wing makes a difference. I don't know what's the difference it makes, but I suppose it helps to channel the air over there, and I don't know what that is. Could be a temperature sensor. And see how the wings work all the way to the back, and there's carbon fiber everywhere. So the engine and transmission actually form part of the chassis, yeah. And then moving on, we get the Honda Hybrid and 2019 for the bikes. Yeah, sorry, this is the Honda Hybrid Red Bull car. They have got maybe a second or third position so far, haven't won yet, but you can see here the new construction, yeah, for the cars. This is actually a roll cage, and the back part of the engine cowling there also is part of the cage. This is to protect the car in case of a rollover, and the ground effects and aerodynamics have changed, and you can see here, even though the car is narrow at the back, the floor actually is wider than it looks. It's all about aerodynamics. And the interesting thing is the front wing now. It's got so many things, so many parts of the wings. I think you need an aircraft engineer or aircraft design engineer to design this. Look at the number of fins that are there. It's not just one fin, but many pieces of fins, and they all act together, including this little brake cover at the back. It also helps to channel air into the brakes. So again, you see the double wishbone arrangement for the car, and now there's an additional reinforcement on the side there. You can see this from the blue, it stretches out and it goes all the way to the back, and the arm itself comes from the center. So now the construction of the suspension is a bit different. Okay, so now we move on to the Repsol bike. This is the RC213 2019 model, and in 2019 Honda celebrates 300 wins. Okay, Honda wins 300 Premier Class Grand Prix in total, and again you see carbon fiber brakes, but the difference is there's one caliper on the left and a caliper on the right. So there are two calipers in the front. So this is the latest interpretation, and so stopping power is very important. And even then, the fairing has got aerodynamic devices, yeah. So brakes are huge. They are bigger than some of the car brakes that I know, but of course you see the braking area is only on the outside, yeah. And then here's the exhaust with carbon fiber guard, and again the frame is an aluminum frame, and it looks like it's hand built still. So but the things like the fairings and the fuel tank and all the rest look like they are manufactured with a mold even though it's limited numbers. And finally we have the uh, 2019 Red Bull car, and it seems they had the first win in 2019 in the hybrid uh, PU era, and this is the latest car. Okay, so something about the rules on these Formula cars. Yeah, these are 13-inch wheels, and the regulations have been for 13-inch for God knows how long, and that is the one limiting factor for Formula One cars, because the size of brakes is limited. However, what they have done with the brakes is they have made it very wide, so there's more than one brake disc inside there. Is a whole row of them parallel to each other. But again, the limitation is also about cooling. And again, you see the double wishbone arrangement, and also you can see across the top they have reinforcement now. So that's very interesting type of construction. And then you have again the front wing. It is so flimsy, all you need to do is touch something and it will break. So everything is about weight, aerodynamics, and or rather lightweight, yeah, and aerodynamics. So this is the latest Honda Formula car, and is driven by the Red Bull team. So again, the rear spoilers are also another work of art, or not a work of art, it's an engineering marvel by itself. And again, you see the floor pan engineering. It's just a piece of carbon fiber, but it also acts as wings. And look at that, the ground clearance at the bottom here is like half an inch. You'll probably scoop up any dirt or snow that's down on the road. Yep. Okay, so that was a very interesting tour of the Honda in Motorsport. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.